Choice and fraud were my two biggest topics today. And if I would have planned ahead, I would have printed off some of these articles that I've been reading and I've been following. But I don't truly understand. That's the thing. I don't truly understand how it gets to that point. I mean, when we're talking millions, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I'm also the place in Green Bay that's going to be dissolved. It has to go somewhere. Like, so I also don't understand that. And I really would love to have more understanding of what happens next, because it's not a small program. It's not a small amount of money. They weren't helping a small number of people. I mean, Green Bay is ginormous, and they were one of the bigger ones.
They were like northeast. It wasn't, they were like all the way up through Marinette, I believe. So,
so that, I think we need more of an understanding of like what happens next, but it's going to happen soon because it ends in June, from what I read anyway. And I was with a care manager yesterday, and I didn't know that I just know them in the housing world. They do much more than housing. So I don't know if it's just
this organization does.
Yeah. So I didn't know if everything is ending, because like, I guess they're like a domestic abuse. They don't run a shelter, but I guess they're a supporter, a contributor. I'm like, yeah, I guess now that you say that, under all that big umbrella, there was lots more programming than just housing resources.
Yep. I know there's an article that they're looking for people to take over some services and things like that, but it was under a much wider umbrella than what we knew.
Yeah, and what touched us.
We only utilize them for
housing resources.
For the housing resources. Yep. So, yeah, we're not in it as much as they are.
Yeah, so hopefully all of those services don't disappear from the Green Bay area, because that's...
Yeah, we need as many services as possible. Our members, the individuals, that there really needs to be services that are truly for the good.
Yeah.
Like, that intent is good. And all services, the intent is good.
I think in the beginning. You
have to, that's where that integrity piece
But even like, again, in the housing world. So like, we were just talking about this, like people who are operating like low income housing, like after a certain amount of years, it's very evident that there is no more empathy for that population and how they got there, in the way that they can just next.
Oh my goodness. We run into this it is an assembly line. No, I'm not going to hold this apartment for you. Oh, you have to give a 60-day notice. Sorry. Next. Wait, what? But yet when we turn around and they have to leave your place, you're going to expect a notice. So why?
Well, and then the feedback that we got on that one was, well, why didn't they already give notice?
Because they weren't approved yet. Right. So give notice, and so that way you're not approved. And now he's homeless, because I struggle with it. I would be so uneasy when a landlord tells you, go ahead and give notice. Am I approved? No, well, I have to run it through compliance.
Hard. No, I've seen so many of these housing deals drop through compliance.
Yes.
That's a no for me.
Yeah.
I don't know where the compliance department lives, but they are definitely detached from the population.
And they're not allowed to talk to them.
Oh, they're not?
Well, I can't say they're not allowed. A lot of the organizations it's a organization policy. It will go through compliance, and we talk to the property managers. And when I say, can I have compliance phone number? No. And I'm like, well, but wait, I need to know what is being said, and I need to know, like, clear up any misconception. So it's not they're not allowed to. That's not a HUD guideline or anything like that. That's my personal experience when I'm working as a housing counselor, when I'm working with property managers, is I don't get to talk to compliance.
When it's not every property that I've dealt with that's low income or that's taking like subsidies, do they have a compliance department? Like, no. That's like, so that's again, one of those things. It's like, so why do you get to have so many more hoops, and then other people
Mhm.
don't have the hoops. But there's definitely like a lack of empathy
Mhm.
in some of the older property managers,
Mhm.
and they can just and I assume that if you're looking at it from a profitability standpoint, and you have a wait list that's 138 people deep, cool, just keep going till you find someone that works.
The longest wait list that we are up against right now is over 400 and some people.
Is that Green Bay?
No, Wood County, believe it or not.
Wood County.
Mhm.
I would be really curious to see what Brown is, because Brown closed theirs, I guess, because the wait list was unrealistic.
Yeah.
So they closed
Well, and
it.
that's the thing. It's at what point do you close the wait list? Just until you move some people up? Because if you're talking 400 and some, that's years.
Oh, I would
Absolutely
have to 401 county. Is that one county? Like,
Yeah, one county.
Wood's not that big, is it? So like 400 people. Like I sit down on just the Outagamie County housing, and I do believe like in just that one county they would need, I think, like 255 units to meet like the current homeless need. That's not a wait list. That's just the current homeless need.
Mm-hmm.
So 400 for people to move in and out. People would have to literally leave county to be housed.
Absolutely. And that's why we are seeing that this is my preferred location, but right now I'll take whatever, anywhere in Wisconsin.
We have several people on our caseload right now that we are wherever we can find it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, within reason. We're trying to keep them within reason, but really like their situations are so dire, like they'll go anywhere.
Yeah.
Within reason.
We've also learned that, everything starts at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our housing members actually do turn into support broker referrals as well, because once they're home or housed, I will say this every time, there is no better feeling than a housing win.
Oh, nothing.
Because it is life changing. Everything starts at home. You have stability now. Now you can start getting supports that come into place. And our homeless population, they have supports, but they're also in survival mode, and they're you trying to.
Yeah, it's almost like trying to get sober in the wild. Like how? There's no stability there.
Yeah.
Like how can you even focus a brain cell on something as hard as that when you're just trying to get through like 1 hour at a time?
Yep.
Like that's, and everything's a fight. Getting transportation, getting to medical appointments, getting your prescriptions filled, walking around with all of your prescriptions. Some of our members walk around with some pretty dangerous scripts to be on the streets. Like not dangerous in general, but like to be on the streets walking around with 30 oxys. That's not great.
No, and even setting up transportation, like, okay,
I'll go pick them up at the bus stop.
Yeah.
Oh, that one is gonna, I think, haunt me. The hospital discharge one, I think that's gonna haunt me forever. Like, well, he can still get transportation to his life-saving medical appointments.
Life-saving, yeah.
Can he though? Can he though? It depends on where he slept.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You don't know. You're living day to day. Where I am today doesn't mean I'm going to be there tomorrow. And we're talking cell phones. Who's paying the cell phone bill, right? Is it even working?
Does he have Wi-Fi? Was it charged? Was there a charging port?
I had one that it was hit and miss, because it's either the phone was on or the phone was off. You could go weeks because nobody knew where he was. I was driving down the road and he's walking, and I'm like, yes,
Found him.
Found him. So pulled over, had a conversation, pretty much did a home visit. But if you don't have the resource, how are you supposed to stay in contact? How are you supposed to ask for transportation? What address are you using for a mailing address? Where does that mail go?
Is that some of these property managers won't take homeless as an address.
Yes, I want to know exactly. I'm like, you want to know the corner he was on? Like the street corner landmarks? Because, okay, he was here for 3 days. Now where did you go for the next 2 days? Come on. That's not realistic.
No, not at all. No. And at that point, it's like, you just know you're getting denied.
Yeah.
So, like, why try?
Oh, and that's the sad part. Because a lot of places are appealable. Appeal. We tell that to our members all the time. Don't take no. Appeal it. But they've been told no for so many times that they're over it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of vulnerability that goes into that appeal
Mhm.
process too. Sometimes we're appealing like old convictions, things that they're not super proud of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very humbling. I know I coached one individual and I'm like, okay, you have to go in humble, like not defensive, humble.
Yeah.
You're going to go in with a humble heart. And, you know, we're going to highlight what you've done good because you've done a lot of good. You've come a long way. But because he would get really defensive when questioned about his past, because that's all anyone ever wanted to talk about. It's that one time.
But is that
one thing.
not human nature as well? I mean, if somebody brought up something that you did as a teenager or as a very young adult, let's face it, we've all been young and dumb at one point in our life.
Yeah, I would not want to be judged on my adolescence.
But that's in both self-direction and housing world. We see the judgment.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're there to tell them, we're not here to judge you. We're here to advocate on your behalf. And some of the appeals that we had to do, I honestly wanted to say, have you never, ever done anything in your life? Like the one that always comes to mind is you're going to deny somebody for a drunk driving, an OWI, 16 years ago. What does that have to do with housing?
Nothing, unless you're going to drive the apartment around. Like,
have
nothing.
you never made a mistake?
That is ridiculous.
Have you never made a mistake in your life? Not condoning anything, but to the fact that this one mistake is now haunting you 16 years later, and you're told to go, you're going to remain living in your truck because of this one mistake.
Yep. The one other issues that come up that are kind of in the same ish is like any judgments, paid or unpaid, in debt.
Yep.
Most of our members, it's medical in nature.
Mm-hmm.
It's typically not because they had fun with a credit card at Victoria's Secret.
Absolutely.
Like it's usually medical in nature. Like it's life in nature.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's housing in nature because they're in apartments they can't afford.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are held against them too. And it's like, and again, some of them are freaking old. Like they're not yesterday. Like they're old issues. And again, like we all were 21 at one point and made very dumb financial decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us had long time consequences. Some of us, we paid it off. It was life. But
absolutely.
But again, they get to be held with their feet to the fire forever, and ever. Yep. One other one that came up recently was the landlord asked if they're able to care for themselves.
Yes.
And I'm like,
that was kind of...
That's not your business.
There are times we have to bite our tongue and remain professional, right? And we do push back professionally, but that is one of them. Like, how would you like me to question you on how you live your life and your ability to do things? Yep. I guess that can relate to self-direction as well. Mm-hmm. How many times does somebody come in and tell you what you're capable of doing just based off of that interaction with you?
On the self-directed side, it's very common that we have caregivers that they're saying they're not appropriate for in-home care.
Yes.
Not to your choice.
That judgment of, are you sure they can live on their own? Can you live on your own?
Yeah. And they'll call and say things like, have you seen them transfer? Do you, like... No, yes, but also not my business.
Not my business.
Yeah, like it's... Yeah.
I'm not there to do an assessment. Mm-mm. Apparently there's a lot of assessments out there, but we're not one of them. Nope. We are one to... We go in with the whole intent of helping, right? You tell me how you live. You tell me of how you do life, and we're going to find somebody that's okay with that. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the gentleman that I met the other day. They don't use a lift. He's physically moved from one place to another by the body of the care provider. And that was a new one for me. Mm-hmm. And I had mentioned it on a phone screen and they were like, cool. Yeah. Like, really? Because there's someone for everyone.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, there's someone for everyone. Like there's someone that you say stuff to that I'm like, I think, is this going to work? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Cool. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
We got this.
Not everybody has to be so judgmental.
No.
I mean, that's just how life is. I feel like there's a lot of judgment regardless of what area of life you're in. Mm-hmm. But I just mean more kindness.
Oh,
more
absolutely. Just empathy.
empathy.
Empathy goes so far. Like,
Mhm.
like I get wrapped up in empathy because I feel things so deeply. So like I really like I get sucked into empathy quite often. So I have to like draw myself back out of it every now and then. But if everyone had a little bit of that, it would just be, it would help. It would help on the self-directed side, on the like getting care providers into homes. It would help on the in the housing world, and it would honestly just help society as a whole. If we could all look at our neighbor and say like, you have hard things too.
Yep. Well, and just the question like, how can I help? That goes a long way. Going in and not saying you can't do this or you can't do it that way versus how can I help? That can change the world.
Mm-hmm.
If we all had a little bit of empathy
Yeah.
and was able to view things from other
Mm-hmm.
perspectives.
Yeah. And not be so closed-minded, because the world is evolving and the things that were very normal 20 years ago are not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to have to make a way
Mm-hmm.
and to see each other as people that are all trying. And yeah, and I think as the disabled communities come out of facility too,
Mm-hmm.
we are not that far from that date. What are we? It'd be like only like 20 years from when the institutes were shut down.
Oh,
It was like
I
I believe it was the 90s, maybe.
that would be my guess, but I'm not 100% sure.
Because also in 2011, I was taking care of someone who had been in an institute her whole life. She was there for like 10 years. So yeah, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the 90s-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not that far from the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
where we almost saw no disabled individuals in our
Mhm.
stores, in our spaces.
Mm-hmm.
None. They were shoved away, out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
And even in
Yep.
the schools, I think we talked about this the other day.
Mhm.
You know, like our kids, they're immersed.
Yeah.
With seeing different abilities in their schools,
as they should be.
and the bullying just doesn't exist like it did when I was in school. It is not there.
No.
Like I'm sure it happens. Like no doubt about it. People will be people, and bullies will be bullies. But like as a whole, like it's just not the norm anymore that it's socially acceptable to tease someone who's got different abilities than you. So I guess some grace being given to society as they figure out how to navigate a world with people who they have not been.
There's a huge
in
push
communion
for
with.
an inclusive world,
Oh,
as it should be. As it should be. I would love to see more and more of inclusive workshop or workplaces, employments, and just seeing people
and finding
for who they are.
Finding like I would love, like DVR does a pretty good job of that. Did a pretty good job of this. They would take the individual strength and then they would sell it to whatever employer they were talking to, and it was not a high success rate of getting them into those positions. But I could probably say with a pretty high certainty that most companies could make room for someone's ability.
Especially nowadays. Since COVID hit and people are working from home and you're not expected, most people, you're not expected to have to go to an office. There's a lot more hybrid. There's a lot more remote work available. There should be no reason that accommodation.
Mm-mm.
And let's talk about reasonable accommodation. Reasonable accommodation is not to do hardship on the company. There's workarounds. There's technology. There's things out there.
So for a lot of the people who I support, and also my son, really the accommodation's a shortened workday.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't hire 2 people to fill an 8-hour shift to give 2 people the opportunity versus 1. So like sometimes it's easy as that, and also like writing things out for instructions instead of it like the verbal instruction. Sometimes it's offering reminders. The gentleman that we have out in Denmark, like that place of employment didn't even know what they were getting into when they hired him, and they just are freaking amazing.
They are
amazing, and they give him reminders, and sometimes they have to keep him on task. But he shows up. He works really hard.
Very reliable.
Yep.
He does not miss work. He's probably one of their top employees.
Yep.
I almost guarantee it.
Yep.
And he takes it with pride.
Oh, so much pride. And that's what you get from a lot of that population is they're very prideful.
Absolutely.
About the work that they're doing. So you give them a task and let them master it, and they will continue to show up for you. The gentleman that we're supporting in Green Bay too, it's like he does a really flippin' good job, but he got picked on at his current position, and that's so unfair. Because of the people suck.
If people do suck. And that was my initial thought. I wasn't going to say it, but
Yeah,
that was
people
my
suck,
initial
like-
thought is, let's just do better.
Yep.
Let's just do better as people.
Mhm.
Like, in understanding, and that sums up my week, to be honest with you.
Just do better.
Let's just do better as human beings. But it also makes me realize I don't know what you're going through for somebody to have such hateful behavior. You must be going through something, and that's what I'm going to go off of.
So I struggle with that because why is that an excuse? I think so. In the last
You're
12 months of my life has been the hardest 12 months of, I think, my entire life. And I was nice every single day. I only flipped off one person while driving.
That was the best story I've ever heard, by the way, because your personality, I've never seen you riled up. That was the best story. But you're right. It's not an excuse. And it's the excuse that I have to tell myself.
I know, just to get through the day.
Just to get through it of, and it's not me. I mean, I wasn't even involved, but to the point where I'm watching this all go down and I'm thinking, wow, like I've never seen so much hate or so much just
so little care,
malicious
so little
intent
compassion.
I'm like, all I can say is, wow, let's just do better.
Yep. I peak
just
and
do
valley
better.
with like not my tolerance, but like how like angry I get. Cause there's like probably every couple weeks in this work that I'm like, I'm so frustrated. Like I'm so frustrated. Like that I want to like not yell at, but like talk sternly to like a provider or like in the housing world. Like,
yeah. I have, I recently read The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. And if you haven't read it, I strongly recommend it because I am a person that I would take anything personal. And then I would overthink it as to how can we do better? How can I have handled this in a better situation? And just let it really get to me. But that book really resonated with me.
did it?
It did. For the fact that now I can look at a situation like this and be like, let them misunderstand. Let them do what they do. And I can remain positive and not let it affect my life.
Control what I can control, which is myself, which is so true. I think that's probably a good lesson today. Because, it's been a frustrating week for me. Like, just going to rip someone's head off.
And again, roping it back to self-direction. We can't control anything. And we're not here to control anything. We're not here to go in and tell you how to do your life, how to live your life, who you have to hire, who you need. No, that's not what we're here for. And nobody should have to do that. The services that are going in is to understand what your needs are and what you're asking for.
Yeah. Frustration for me still lies within like the systems. All this is like the guardians, not the guardians that are the problem, but like you have to work between so many people. So you have your member, the guardian, the fiscal, the caregivers. Like it's just so many pieces. And like when all the powers that be are not playing well in the sandbox, like it's just so obvious.
Yeah.
And then the members like
they get caught in the middle.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know.
They get caught in the middle and they're like, all right.
Yep. I because I've got that just thick, I just feel things so deeply. Like I feel like when like the powerlessness, and that's big time a trigger for me.
Yes.
And that's what I experienced this week is there's a sense of powerlessness. And then almost like I can feel them giving up.
The defeat.
Yeah.
The level of defeat. And you can see it. You can see somebody who has been powerless for a while and they don't even use their voice anymore because they say
there's no more fight left.
What's the point? If you're not going to listen to me when I talk, if you're not going to hear what I'm asking, naturally you're going to get to a point where like, what is the point? And all right, I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to let you tell me what I need and what I should do.
You know, on that topic, it would be really cool. And I don't know who the right person is. I have a feeling it's probably like a disability rights advocate. I would love to speak to somebody about how to actively participate in your, what do they call it? CMP. So, no, whatever. Whatever. I think the actual word is member-centered plans. The CMP. Yeah.
Member-centered plans.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like how to actively participate in that process so that their voice is heard. They get the services that they need. I think that would be awesome to figure out, like, because it's not, I don't think that information is necessarily going to come from the like family care organization. I think it definitely can, depending on who your provider or who your caseworker is.
Yeah.
But like I've experienced it personally on the kiddo side and the adult side, where they're like, what do you need? I'm like, I don't know. I know I need a lot, but I don't know how to say what we need. So like I feel like that disability rights activists could like say like, this is what's out there. This is what support looks like. This is what's available in your community, so that you can participate and have your voice heard.
That's such an interesting thought. Yes. And I would never even thought about that, because having somebody that is not a representative of any organization, but they're just for you as an advocate.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I feel like if we align ourselves with those types of orgs too, we will be better. We'll be better at our jobs because kind of we're resource finders too.
Absolutely.
It's just that they can do it more from I feel like the activists, they know more about like the rights and the wrongs and what they can and cannot get away with, kind of a thing. And I don't think any family care organization comes to the table and doesn't give you resources on purpose. I don't think they know they don't know either.
Right. It's a lack of education on all forefronts in every organization. It really is. I mean, and you have on the residential side and even on the IRIS side, the ombudsman program. I've never heard of an ombudsman in self-direction. Is there one?
When I had to use the ombudsman, what I didn't realize was that there was an ombudsman specifically for transportation.
Really?
So the ombudsman that I ended up going through was for transportation specifically.
Huh.
Had no idea. I also found out through that process too that they were very linked though to the transportation, so it didn't feel like it felt very biased.
Okay.
So
yeah, that doesn't help.
No, because true ombudsman should be completely
absolutely
hands off from both. Like you're just there to like mediate essentially.
Yep. Well, I guess if anyone knows of any such resource, they're gonna have to shoot us a message or comment or do something, because
I'd love to chat and just kind of like how can you best come to the table every 6 months for your review and know what to ask, know what's available to you, know what your rights are.
Well, and I think that's the biggest thing is you don't know what to ask. You don't know what's available to you. If you don't know, how are you supposed to ask?
And that's just it. Like I didn't have the language a lot of the time. So like I know I need help. I just don't know what that help looks like. So I was looking to other people to tell me what that help looked like. And I just, to this date, have not really gotten an answer on like what that help looks like. The closest I got was family found supports when I was in the CLTS world with my oldest son. And that was like, oh, okay, I didn't realize that was a thing.
Well, and even what is that? People don't know the terminology.
No.
What is a support broker? We didn't set that name.
No, I always tell people, I'm like, that was a state given name and it's not one that I claim.
Right. So even when you're using the correct terminology, you don't truly know what you're asking for because you don't understand what that means. So when you're asking for something different, they're like, I don't know what that is. So you have two people that need to find a common ground, and maybe going in with that empathy is to, okay, tell me your struggles. Let's start with that. Tell me your struggles, and maybe finding that common ground as to, oh, well, there's this resource and that resource. Let's just make resources more known. Let's not
come in with a list.
Yeah. Don't shove them away. Make them known. That's why they're out there.
And talk amongst yourselves. Like share the information, because there's definitely a knowledge gap as far as something like that. You're more seasoned teams know everything. Like they know all the resources. And then your unseasoned teams, they only know what they know. They only know what they've authorized in the past.
What's out there.
Yep. Yeah. And I think that's a great way to get people more access to help. And again, like I just wish there was more community engagement as well, because there's a lot of companies out there that are starting to do cool things like the
Mhm.
library, the kids library downtown here. They have a autism sensory night, so they turn the lights down
Amazing.
low. They don't play music, like it's super chill.
Yeah.
The movie theater has a low sensory day where all their shows are shown really at low volumes,
That's amazing.
and they make other accommodations. But like, there's a lot of community engagement opportunities that also are just not shared
Yes.
because they're so few and far between, but also just not known. So they don't even know to share the resource because there's a ton going on out there. Tons of sensory gyms popping up left and right. That's kind of the new trend. Yeah, just kind of figuring out like what's available in the community that you're in.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I love going into the homes.
Oh yeah,
because we learn
much.
so much.
So much.
If you just take the time to listen instead of going in and being so focused on getting and gathering the information you need to do your job, but truly taking the time to listen and get to know the member or the family or the participant that you're working with. Just get to know the individuals. You learn so much.
Yeah, I think especially on the kids side, I get that. I walk into it in amazement every single time I go to a home visit. I'm like, this is how you're doing life, eh? Like, this is great. And then every time I leave, I'm like, these are my people. This is my literal tribe. Like, like you get it. You get it. It's so much fun to be in home with, especially for me, especially the kiddos, just because I have little kids at home. The adults will never cease to amaze me with their creativity and the way they do life. That is one thing that I gained from going into the adult members' homes.
Yep.
And just like the home that I was in yesterday, we were chatting about all their kitty cats, and they're out in rural area, so like they have like outside cats, and I just like the different things that they enjoy and the different life experiences and the common grounds. Like, it's just fun to get to know them as people.
Have you met the bird yet? The
No.
talking bird?
But Monday, we might have an interview on Monday, and the bird is very loud, and I've got some sensory issues, so like we'll see how that goes. So he is loud.
He might be shy at first. When I first met him, he did not talk. I think he said
on the
bye.
phone. Lord have mercy.
Oh yes, but I think excuse me, until he gets to know you, I don't know. The first time he might not talk to you, but he's not a shy bird.
No.
But he acts like it.
He's like a 2-year-old, like a mom on the phone. As soon as she picks up the phone, that bird is like will not stop in the background. She's like, I'm so sorry, but I thought it was the TV. I didn't realize it was a bird.
He's a character. He is a character, and the things that he can say is hilarious. I
Does
learned.
he mock you?
Yeah. No, he mocks her.
Oh.
And the mom. But I didn't realize. I learned a lot about birds at that home visit.
Yeah. See, that's the thing.
I didn't
Like, you
realize
gain, like,
how
this-
long they live.
Yeah, they're like human lifespans.
Yes.
Like there's a celebrity who has birds, and like she's like said that she's lived almost her entire life with like some of her birds. I'm like, oh my word,
Crazy,
that's
isn't
a
it?
long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you definitely learn different things about different people, and it's part of the fun.
Mm-hmm.
It is part of the fun.
So we have run into birds, dogs, cats,
Snakes.
Oh, you had a
Spiders.
snake, a monkey.
You had a monkey?
Yes.
Oh,
I didn't personally. It wasn't on mine. It was on one of our coworkers, but a little spider monkey.
Oh my gosh!
And apparently it would sit
on your shoulder.
I'm like, I would have loved that home visit.
Same.
Oh,
yeah. I've
never
house
been
with spiders, a whole room of spiders and critters, and they made sure to tell me, and I'm like, I don't want to see it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they have a whole room, like a dedicated room to like critters, and like caged spiders. And I'm like, nope. I'm gonna stay down here, but thanks for telling me about it.
Right.
Can they get out?
Right. I would have been like
no.
constantly looking, like
No.
just make sure there's no spider crawling on
No.
me, please.
I haven't been to a home with ferrets, but ferrets would be fun because
My
they
daughter
hide.
used to have
Really?
ferrets. Not at our house. I don't know about ferrets. I'm like, you keep that to yourself. But
They can be stinky. But yeah, lots of dogs, lots of cats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like going into homes and just seeing all the things that people do. And we've had a couple really great artists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have.
A couple really great artists.
Yep. Every caregiver, I feel like it's a common thing when we talk about tell us your passion. Why? And it's always, I really just want to get to know people and I love to hear the stories. I can relate to that. That is my favorite thing, just to go and learn about everybody's, just what they have accomplished in life, what they have ventured in life, what they have had to overcome in life. I am shocked. Like, you want to talk about strong, the things that our members have accomplished in life and have done, kudos.
Yep.
Because I'm not that strong. I don't know that. That is amazing. And you have the one we often talk about. Her life story is astonishing.
It really is.
You grow up and there was no special treatment. There was none.
I don't even think she went to a school for blind people.
No.
I don't think she was technically, like, you know, a lot of people in that generation especially were sent to facilities to learn to live their disability. And I've never heard her talk about that. I know she learned Braille and stuff like that, but I don't think she lived apart from her family.
Not that I'm aware of, but she lived a lot. I mean, she worked most of her life. She was married. She traveled a ton. She traveled all over, and she trained service dogs.
And she was an activist.
Yeah. And yes, she was a public speaker. Like, she still talks to this day as to, I'm astonished at what she can do. I probably would have been that one of like, help
Gosh,
me.
yeah. Even just the technology setup, like, oh gosh, the frustration. Yeah, I just give up and be like, oh, fine, I'll go to facility, let someone else deal with it. Yeah. But she's just a fighter.
She is a fighter.
I had one of my very, very first clients that I ever worked with in an in-home setting. He stole my heart and probably is a big part of my why, but he lived independently as a male who was nonverbal with cerebral palsy. The cerebral palsy damaged his vocal cords, so he wasn't able to communicate. Cognitively completely aware, typical in that regard. But because of his cerebral palsy, his body movements, his size, and the inability to speak, he was oftentimes treated like an invalid. And it was really, really hard for him growing up. But he was sent to a school. But the stories that he talks about, he actually helped create a lot of the equipment that's now used for individuals who have cerebral palsy, like aids and stuff like that. He did testing. They tested it on him. So he always would brag about that because that was such a big accomplishment for him.
Absolutely.
But likewise, like our member, he traveled, he got married, he lived a very typical life. And what broke my heart about his situation is that he got hard for the county to manage. This was back when counties were managing, because he needed so much in-home care. And there were too many risks associated with his care. They moved him into a facility and he died a week later. He fell out of his wheelchair and suffocated. No.
There's no words for that. I'm sorry. There's no words for that.
Yeah, that was one of those pivotal. I'll never forget his like longtime caregiver called me and said he died. I'm like, what do you mean he died? Like, he was supposed to go to this facility to be saved,
right? To be safe,
because that's where he was going to be safe, and that's where he was determined to be safe. And I'm like, oh, geez. And I think if it was 10 days, I'd be surprised, but it was quick. It was quick.
I'm a huge believer in those that live the life should be part of the planning to be able to say what works and what doesn't work. And that's where legislative, again, I would love to have somebody on here to understand. Like, I probably wouldn't understand a word they're saying to begin with, but is there any personal ties? Do you have anyone that physically lives the life that you have so much power over? We have a lot of individuals that are getting more and more involved, and I love to see it. And especially with these organizations that I'm following, kudos to them, because giving people that voice is huge. And we'd love to see the people that have that voice are the ones that give them their power.
Absolutely.
Give them power because they're the ones who know.
Yeah, they at the least should be consulting with the population.
Absolutely.
At the very least should be consulting with them, like to get their feedback. But I can guarantee that's not happening. It's very evident that is not happening at all at any layer of the changes that have happened, even just the very minute ones that we're aware of, like the things that are happening within Iris and the changes with the fiscal agents, that no one consulted anybody that's actually going to be impacted. Like that was not something that was like.
Well, I'm curious, like, was it published somewhere? Because let's face it, they're busy doing life, and they're not right on top of it. Was it set in the dead of the night? Like, how does this happen? How does this come down to it? And all I can think is the systems. I hope that the systems that are put in place are truly meant to help, not take away. And with these Medicaid budget cuts that we're hearing of, I think that's the biggest fear for a lot of people is what is getting taken away from me?
Because that's what's happening.
Yeah. And how now you have to find a way to pivot. You know, is it I get less hours? Is it I get less cares? How do you navigate this? How do you navigate the system? And if you don't understand the system, you don't know how to navigate the system.
No, I also think there needs to be more education on if you have a grievance, what that grievance process looks like and how accessible is it.
I feel like we need to have a topic on that specifically. Another topic is co-employment. I don't understand co-employment as much. Where from my understanding, and forgive me because I still don't understand, is they're hired under the fiscal agent.
Oh, yeah.
Versus the self-direction.
Yep, that's only come up a couple times
It's so rare, but it just came up yesterday for me, and I'm like, help me understand this, because I don't know. So I want a topic on that specifically. Budgets, budget amendments, like the list goes on and on and on outside of our realm, because we hear things, we get brought into things, but I
we
have
don't know
no
all the
clue.
things. No
like clue.
We know just enough to make us dangerous. Like we know just enough to talk about it. Like we're not the experts, that's for sure.
No.
Something else I would like to understand much more in depth is the paper performance that's coming to the table. Because that does not, after researching that a little bit more, we know of it because of the push in self-direction or self-directed supports, that it's much greater than that. The paper for performance is much broader, and there's a lot more incentives going on than just at that level through Medicaid, which again, like I want to understand that because we're talking about people's lives as it equates to money for somebody else. And also no one talked to the population to see if that's even what they needed or wanted.
Seems to be
it's just going to save, I mean, even if we're being real and honest, on the self-directed services side, it's about $20 cheaper per hour to employ someone in self-direction than it is to go through an agency and have an agency staff member. So that pay for performance is saving the insurance money. So like that's the truth of it. Like it is to save insurance money. Like it's a business. But again, no one asked the person getting the care, is that what you wanted? Is that what you needed? Is that the gap? Was that the hole? So I have a feeling that's probably going on in a lot different areas of all the cuts and all the things that are happening.
Absolutely. If you read the documents, and I have not read the documents, it's pages upon pages upon pages.
When you asked me to research that, I'm like, whoa,
yeah.
What have I stumbled on? That's a lot of documents.
Well, we're gonna learn about them. We are bound and determined. We have multiple individuals coming up that will outline their personal and how they do life and how changes affect them and what works and what doesn't work. As well as professionals coming up to start learning about some of these topics that we don't truly understand.
We're going to get a lot of education. Very excited.
Yeah. Till next week.
Till next time.